Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another session of this course on Islamic inheritance law, in which we shall be looking at the inheritance amongst class 3 distant kindred, according to the Ḥanafī Fiqh. Let's start off with text from the Sirajiyya. Al-hukmu fihim kal-hukmi fi as-sinf al-awwal. أعني أولاهم بالميراث أقربهم إلى الميت، وإن استووا في القرب فولد العصبة أولى من ولد ذوي الأرحام، كبنت ابن الأخ وابن بنت الأخت، كلاهما لأب وأم، أو لأب، أو أحدهما لأب وأم والآخر لأب المال كله، لبنت ابن الأخ لأنها ولد العصبة، ولو كانا لأم المال بينهما للذكر مثل حظ الأنثيين. عند أبي يوسف رحمه الله تعالى باعتبار الأبدان، وعند محمد رحمه الله تعالى المال بينهما أنصافا باعتبار الأصول بهذه الصورة. If there are no claimants of class 1 and class 2 distant kindred, the estate devolves upon the class 3 distant kindred. The class 3 distant kindred are the offspring of brothers and sisters of the deceased. These are therefore the nephews and nieces of the deceased and their descendants who are not themselves residuaries. These include the son of uterine brother, the son of full sister, the son of uterine sister, the daughter of full brother, the daughter of consanguine brother, and so on. The rules governing inheritance amongst class 3 distant kindred appear complicated, but are mentioned here for the sake of completeness. The nearer in degree excludes the more remote, and if claimants are of equal degree, then descendants of sharers or residuaries take preference over descendants of distant kindred. For example, DSBF will exclude DDBF. This is because DSBF is a descendant of SBF, who is a residuary, whereas DDBF is a descendant of DBF, who is a distant kindred. For the same reason, DSBC excludes SDSF, even though the former is of half-blood and the latter is of full blood. According to Imam Muhammad, full blood excludes half-blood through father applies. Applying this rule means that descendants of full brother exclude descendants of consanguine brother and consanguine sister. Also, descendants of full sister do not exclude descendants of consanguine brother. Furthermore, two or more descendants of full sister exclude descendants of consanguine sister. Among the descendants of the agnatic siblings, the male take the share of two female. Descendants of uterine brother and uterine sister are not excluded by descendants of full brother, consanguine brother, full sister, or consanguine sister. They inherit with them. The root or ancestor of the descendants of uterine brother and uterine sister is assigned 1/6 if there is only one claimant, or 1/3 if there are two or more claimants, and the male and female descendants of the uterine siblings inherit equally. According to Imam Abu Yusuf, a simple strength of blood tie rule is applied. The rule is that descendants of full blood, that is, full brother and full sister, exclude descendants of consanguine blood, meaning consanguine brother and consanguine sister, which in turn exclude descendants of uterine blood, that is, uterine brother and uterine sister. The heirs inherit on a simple per capita basis. The male inherits the share of two females. Using these priority rules, the order of succession, according to Imam Muhammad, amongst the class 3 distant kindred is as in the slide. Each group, in turn, must be exhausted before any member of the next group can succeed. Pause the video if you wish to examine the order of succession. Let us work out some examples to see how the rules operate amongst the Class 3 distant kindred. In this example, a person dies leaving behind a full brother's daughter, DBF, a consanguine brother's daughter, DBC, and uterine brother's daughter, DBU. The family tree diagram shows the exact blood relationship. DBC is excluded by DBF because claimants of full blood exclude claimants of half-blood through father. The remaining claimants, DBF and DBU, are of equal degree. The uterine bloodline of descent has only one claimant, and so the uterine brother root is assigned 1/6, which descends to his claimant. DBU inherits a 1/6 share, and DBF inherits the residue 5/6. According to Imam Abu Yusuf, DBF inherits the whole estate. In this example, a person dies leaving behind a daughter of a son of uterine brother, DSBU, and a son of a daughter of uterine sister, SDSU. The family tree diagram shows the exact blood relationship. Both the claimants, DSBU and SDSU, are of equal degree and descent. There is a difference in the genders at the roots, BU and SU, but both the roots are of uterine descent. The uterine line of descent has two heirs, so it is assigned a 1/3 Quranic share. This is equally divided amongst the roots, BU and SU, 1/6 each, and increased to 1/2 each by doctrine of Al-Rad. This 1/2 share descends along each line of descent down to the claimants. DSBU inherits 1/2 and SDSU inherits 1/2. According to Imam Abu Yusuf, SDSU inherits 2/3 and DSBU, the male, inheriting the share of 2 females. A person dies leaving behind a full brother's daughter, DBF, consanguine brother's daughter, DBC, a uterine brother's daughter, DBU, a full sister's son, SSF, a consanguine sister's son, SSC, and uterine brother's son, SBU. The BU line of descent has 2 claimants and is thus assigned 1/3. This share descends to the claimants of the BU line who inherit equally. DBU and SBU inherit 1/3 together, which they share equally, so each gets 1/6. The BF and SF lines of descent inherit the remaining 2/3, the male line getting twice the share of the female. The BF line and SF line both have only one claimant each. The male line is assigned the share of 2 females. The BF line is therefore assigned 2/3 of 2/3, which equals 4/9, and the SF line is assigned 1/3 of 2/3, which equals 2/9. DBF inherits 4/9 from the BF line of descent, and SSF inherits 2/9 from the SF line of descent. The final distribution of shares is thus: DBF inherits 4/9. DBC is excluded by DBF. DBU inherits 1/6. SSF inherits 2/9. SSC is excluded by DBF. SBU inherits 1/6. According to Imam Abu Yusuf's, SSF inherits 2/3 and DBF inherits 1/3. In this example, a person dies leaving behind a full brother's son's daughter, DSBF, a consanguine brother's son's daughter, DSBC, and a uterine brother's son's daughter, DSU. DSBU. The family tree diagram shows the exact blood relationship. DSBF excludes DSBU because DSBF is a descendant of a residuary SBF, and DSBU is a descendant of a distant kindred SBU. DSBF excludes DSBC because claimants of full blood exclude claimants of half-blood through father. DSBF as sole heir takes the whole estate. According to Imam Abu Yusuf, DSBF inherits whole of the estate. In this example, we look at the inheritance of grandnephews and nieces of half-blood siblings. We have a total of 5 potential heirs: 2 granddaughters through a consanguine brother, a grandson through a consanguine brother, a granddaughter through a uterine sister, and a grandson through a uterine sister. You can see the exact relationship of each heir to the propositus on the family tree diagram. All the claimants belong to distant kindred class 3 heirs. Since the ancestors differ in gender and blood, let's calculate the inheritance shares using Imam Muhammad's method. The uterine sister's line of descent is allocated 1/3, which is distributed equally amongst the descendants, so DSSU and SDSU each inherit 1/6 share of the estate. Now we look at the consanguine brother line of descent. There are 2 daughters through a consanguine brother. The first one has 2 claimants, and the second one has only 1 claimant. Both the ancestors, meaning D1BC and D2BC, are females. D1BC is assigned 2 portions because she has 2 claimants, and D2BC is assigned 1 portion because she has 1 claimant. Therefore, D1BC is assigned 2/3 of 2/3, which is 4/9, and D2BC is assigned 1/3 of 2/3, which is 2/9. These assigned shares descend to the respective claimants, so the final distribution is: each of the DDBC inherits 2/9, SDBC inherits 2/9, DSSU inherits 1/6, and SDSU inherits 1/6. According to Imam Abu Yusuf's method, SDBC inherits 1/2, and each DDBC inherits 1/4 each. This brings us to the end of this session. Insha'Allah, see you in the next one.